All right, so you guys are set to leave the morning of the 2nd of Barton. Were there any other last minute things you guys wanted to do in Norest before the departure date? You do have all of the first free for whatever you feel like.
Oh, that probably means I can craft more things. Hang on. What is my
I
inventory?
would like to buy potions if they have them, but I think Abel bought them all out.
If the stores have them, then go ahead.
I'm gonna look at all the
Loading.
Looking at it though, I do not see any healing potions left.
Okay. Can I roll for please?
I mean, it's a supply problem. They need to make them.
Isn't the only one that can make them too? So not
In
only
the
did he
group,
buy them all, but he made it so nobody else can get them.
I think there's still some regions that are on sale in various places. I just put them in Mira's Exotic Goods for now as just like the magic store sort of thing, but there's still some stuff that if people want to pitch in gold, Thur can probably use them at a later time to craft.
Curious. No, I'm just meaning.
Yeah, just let me know when you guys are ready to leave, and if there's anything else you guys wanted to do before you left.
If I can buy no potions and I can't meet Serena, I am good to go.
I'm looking at wildflowers while I wait, because there's new ones.
I assume Serena is not there and I cannot talk to her.
Serena is not there.
Let me check my potion
Fucking
vault.
You
bitch.
checked that last time. There, you guys did a lot of things. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else before we put you on the road.
I think I am going to craft 2 regular potions of healing because I can't. They're the only ones I can craft, and I have 4 slots on my belt, my potion belt, and only 2 of them are filled right now. So
Okay.
that'll be the day for me.
Do you need me to add potions to your character sheet, or can you change the count on your own?
I think I need 1 regular, and then I can just change the count.
Boop.
So it is 6 common curative, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 glass vials.
Okay. There's one on your sheet.
There we go. Okay. Can I take this? Is this gonna work? Yes. Okay. And then one more. There we go. All right, we're set.
All right.
She's a platinum. 100 gold or 10 gold?
10 gold.
10 gold. Okay. I mean, yeah, I'm good to go.
All right. The next morning of the 2nd of Barton, you guys awake and meet up at the stables on the outskirts of the city where the sort of nobles keep their carriages and such. The princess is waiting for you. Uh, she sort of sees Alina come up and it's like, ah, Alina, I will be accompanying you on this trip. Uh, we are going to make our way to Falnoor, and then we are going to split from there. I will be heading to Lauthrum to prepare things, and then I will need you and your warband to head into the Knoll lands to retrieve the relic from House Esden. We can discuss details on the way. We can discuss details once we're in Falnor.
It would be my honor.
So I have my carriage, and then as we are heading back to their lands, Sir Elenthe has also offered to provide us with his carriage as well. And you look, and Rowan is standing next to his family's carriage. He sort of comes forward and is like, there should be enough room for both of us. There's probably fit 4 people in each, though Merrill probably counts as 2. So however you'd like to assign yourselves, feel free. I'll be in mine. The princess will be in hers. So, and he sort of leaves that to you. So what are the seating arrangements in each carriage?
Shotgun.
Didn't last time we decided that Marrow could run alongside?
If Merrill wants to just run alongside, Merrill can certainly run alongside. Or
Okay.
Merrill can, sleep inside as well. It's...
No. She's not getting in that thing.
I
Okay.
would like to. Is there a sunroof?
Is there a what?
Sunroof?
The
opening
carriages
at the
have
top.
roofs. It's not necessarily a sunroof, but they have roofs. They're just
Opening?
basic enclosed carriages.
I want to ride on the top.
Oh, if you wish.
Yes, I do.
Very well. Well, which one are you going to be on top of? The royal one or the or Rowan's?
Whichever one is in. Whichever one has Abel in it, I think.
Okay. So that leaves Phelan, Alina, and Abel. What carriages are we in?
I truly don't care. I will ride wherever Alina typically rides. That's what I usually do.
I will ask the princess where she would like me to ride. Because I am here to protect her.
Sounds like you should be in her carriage. Do you and Phelan want to be in the princess's carriage, and me and Galahadron can be in Rowan's carriage? That way we're 2 and 2.
Sounds good.
And then Marrow can be running alongside. If she prefers.
That's so funny. I'm so sorry.
All right. Yeah, you guys can certainly do that if you'd like.
Do anything.
Oh no! Like I said, I want to ask her where she would like.
It's up to you. We'll be riding in a convoy, so if you wish to sit with me, we can discuss the mission a bit more. But if you'd like to ride with Rowan, I would certainly understand.
Okay, so this is where I'm torn, right? Alita's duty would want her to ride with the princess, right?
Mhm.
My love for the drama would love for me to ride in Rowan's carriage. But also, what's funnier than that is now that Galahadron knows that Rowan was my ex-lover, just putting Galahadron and Abel alone with Rowan is also
Galahadron
very
would
funny.
be on the roof, which is not in a place where they can converse with anyone.
I can yell.
That is weird.
I can project very well.
Protect, yes. Converse, not so much.
No, I said project. I can project.
Oh,
my voice
project.
very well.
Ah.
Yes, I can be heard. Let's knock, right?
Hearing them is the larger concern.
Press my ear.
Carriages are very noisy.
Yes.
Well,
So yeah,
what
it's
what
up to you guys.
what else have big ears for if not to hear conversations?
That's
Truly.
exactly right, Arrow.
I'm going to spend the first stint with the princess.
It's also an 8-day journey, so...
Yeah, I'll flip back. I'll spend the first stint with the princess.
Okay. Alright, so Alina and Phelan with the princess first time, and then Abel and Galahadron with Rowan for a second. Okay. Yeah, so as you guys sort of head out, the princess... Where's... Oh, Phelan's over there buying cooking shit.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll keep you on this page as long as you're still buying.
Oh, I'm
things.
good. I'm not buying anything. I was just looking
You're
what
not-
every shop had.
Okay. Alright. So on the road to Falnoor. So in the carriage, the princess would also sort of ask Alina, it's like, and you have settled on your name?
We
Or
have.
the warband?
We have. I don't think the bishops.
Okay, what's...
We went
what
by
is
the temporal knight.
the Temporal Knights? Oh, okay. I'm just going to change the party marker.
Are we doing Knights Temporal to
Yes, that's temp.
back the other way around?
Yes.
There we go. Easy done. Easy done. All these for everyone. That's a token. Boom. There we go. Knights Temporal. Ah,
The Knights Temporal?
Tempura.
temporal? Is that not how you spell temporal?
I'm pretty sure that's right. That's what
Oh,
I
I
have
was
in
Oh.
the
just,
chat.
I just had a little like brain thought. And I was just like, shrimp. Shrimp knights.
Tempura, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
I know, but my brain wanted it to be Poro
Oh,
Yeah.
like the League of Legends thing.
from League.
Do you play League? Sorry.
I do play League.
Nerd.
Talk later.
So, in the carriage, the princess, it's like, it's a interesting name, but certainly unique. And Sir Phelan, I don't believe we'd have much chance to converse previously.
We have not. No.
How are you? Are you excited for joining this warband and this excursion? Is this something that you have been hoping to do? I must admit, I don't know much about you.
I am excited. It is interesting. It'll be interesting to see how a warband works. Growing up in the woods, I didn't get a whole lot of. I didn't have a whole lot of run-ins with situations like this, so it'll be very interesting to not only see what it looks like, but be a part of it.
Well, each warband operates their own way. I assume that how you have all found success previously will most likely carry forward as time goes on. But yes, I am curious. I know one of my other knights is also from the woods, although she was not part of the outreach program. What do you what do you think? What are your experiences with the outreach program in the Garen Woods?
I found it very helpful. We were not particularly well off, but thanks to the help of certain members of the church, we saw a lot of things we wouldn't have. We got education we wouldn't have gotten. I was given my own little chore to watch over some other members of my community, I suppose, which helped sort of shape me and teach me responsibility. Um, it affords us a lot of extra help and chances that simply growing up in the woods by ourselves would not have done.
Very interesting. That's good. It's good to hear that it is doing some good. I worry sometimes if we're doing enough for the sort of refugees in the woods, or if we really should be doing anything at all. But it's good to hear that it is having positive results.
It is.
So,
Is it something you have a hand in, or is it something you simply have an interest in?
My family supports it when we can. It is mainly something that the church does. Basmar ourselves, we don't want to throw our authority in places that are not historically Aventicuum. It does not feel like our place to do so. However, we do have two of our royal knights, my own Evira and Christoph, who serves my brother. They are, as you met them in Walden, there to show the royal family's support for the defenses of the woods. But as for the outreach program itself, we have little influence in the matter. That is primarily Archbishop Spade and his organization. It's been his pet project over these last few decades.
I know Archbishop Spade from the. That's the guy Serena works
He's the
for.
old man. Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I have met Archbishop Spade. Yes. I didn't know a lot about him during the outreach program. I always found it a little interesting that I never actually met him in person until I left the outreach program. But
he does not visit the woods often. His
I have
age, you might
noticed.
suspect. His representative there is Bishop Wildrick.
Him, I do know. Him, her,
Him.
I
yeah.
would. Okay,
Garth,
I would know.
Garth Wildrick. Yeah.
Him, I do know. Just I had never met the actual quote unquote head of the situation.
Yes, the outreach program operates as its own diocese, if you will, inside the Garen Woods, but it still falls under the Bosmaran Church.
Well, I'm glad that you like it. Well, at least seem interested in it. It is a beneficial program.
I wish to do good where I can. I feel that that's befitting somebody of befitting my duty to the Trinity, to do all that I can in those situations. Even if admittedly for that in particular it is not much, I will admit. Speaking of which, though, Alina, I would like to discuss in further details our main goal for this excursion.
Absolutely.
What do you know of Lauthrum?
Hey, Lev.
Yeah?
What do I know of Lauthrum?
Not much.
Unfortunately, Your Highness, not much.
So, Lauthrum, of course, they are our neighbor. They are suffering terribly from incursions from both the Knoll lands and occasional raids from the duchies as well. We have been for some time now trying to convince the House Lauthrum themselves to sort of merge themselves with Bosmar as a greater unifying force to help push back the Knoll incursions and allow our sort of military defenses to support their own. They have been resistant to this, mainly because the three marquee houses of Lauthrum are all somewhat opposed to us. There is House Esden, which is the one in the north, whose lands have been mostly overrun by the Knolls. Their former holdings of this city of Osden are where I am sending you. The previous Marquis fell while defending Esden, or while defending Osberg, and his relic fell with him. His younger son, who now technically should hold the title, but has not been able to officially claim it without his family's relic, is stationed in Fort Caragard, which acts as their temporary holdings. Then there is House Hurst in the south, which has strong ties with Avency, as well as the duchies. They compose the strongest military force in Lauthrum, out of necessity mainly from repelling numerous incursions from the duchies, and they use their seasoned soldiers to help support the other houses. They are arguably the most influential of the three, and due to that they do not appreciate what they feel as Bosmaran interference in their kingdom. The third is one that I've been able to make quite successful inroads with over the last few years. No? What? Mero, did you have something?
Oh, was I not mute? Sorry.
Nope.
I my headset chooses
Looks out the
when to
window.
mute.
Mero's just running along and just barking at things.
No, my headset is selectionally mute.
No worries. The third that I have had good success with in cultivating a better relationship in recent years is House Balder, which is in the east. They are more trade-focused. They wish to have stronger relations with both Bosmar and Felmara to sort of encourage mercantile efforts. I believe that they would be much more supporting of a union of our two kingdoms. However, they are fiercely outvoted by the other two, by both House Hurst, who does not wish to lose power by diluting Lauthrum by having it be absorbed into Bosmar, and House Esden, which has quite a grudge against us because one of their counts, who ran their most prosperous city of Trintham, defected and joined Bosmar, along with much of their lands. And she will sort of give you this rundown of Lothrum's leading nobility. The main goals that I have for now are to convince at least House Esden, and ideally House Hurst, but that's much more of a difficult task, but to convince them to support my union with the young king of Lauthrum, Tristan von Lauthrum. And if we are to be married, to have Bosmar absorb Lauthrum, in which I will be able to win the bet I have had with my brother of the first to add another kingdom's territory to our own. We'll be able to ascend as regent and avoid a civil war. Not regent, sovereign. To ascend as sovereign. Do you have any questions on this, either of you?
Nope.
Alina?
Sorry, I was reading. That was a lot of information you just threw at me.
Oh, yeah.
So you're sending us where again?
We will be sending you to the ruins of Osberg. Believe we'll be able to get a better map of the Knowlands once we're in Falnoor. Actually, what am I talking about? I can probably just... She would have brought one with her. Behold the Knowlands.
Ooh. And we're going to the ruins of Osberg?
Yep.
Correct? Cool.
So it says here, Kiana Sky Song was in Castle Esden. Is
Yep.
that in Osberg, or is it somewhere
In
else?
Osberg, yes. Okay. Esden is the family whose capital of their lands was Osberg that fell to the Knolls.
And Esden is the one that we have the worst relationship with, or is that hers?
The worst relationship with, because a lot of their sort of vassals defected to Bosmar, along with the city of Trintham. So, Tiffany, what was her name again? Countess Tiffany von Euben. Her family used to be vassals of House Esden, but when they saw that Lauthrum was losing ground and Bosmar was holding it to the Knolls, they noped on out of there.
Cool. Not cool, but...
Yeah, politics.
Cool. And our job is to go to the ruins, see if we can find anything.
Specifically, the relic known as the Iron Star, which, as far as you probably would have asked, you had heard about that before. You probably would have asked somebody in the Cathedral of Falnoor about it. Its main importance is to that family. It is not a particularly powerful relic. It is, as far as you can tell, just a really good mace.
And it's very important to Esden.
To Esden, because the heir of the house cannot declare himself Marquis if he does not have it, due to tradition. So there is a 18-year-old half-elf whose parents are all dead. I should probably mark her as deceased as well. Whose parents are all dead, who wants to have that relic to become Marquis.
Cool. No brain. I wrote it in my notes because I'm writing notes by hand right now because that's how I think.
Yeah.
And I literally, instead of get the mace, I wrote until he gets good.
I mean, you're not wrong.
AKA the mace.
Yep. Like the majority of this land that has been taken here is his land. He is kind of his largest settlement is this fort that is not necessarily a center of commerce. They have lost a lot of things to the Knolls. So
Was it? I'm trying to remember. Because on the other side of the Knolls is the
Wrath Wastes.
The Wrath Wastes, which have what in them again?
The Hobgoblins.
The Hobgoblins.
And you guys have learned demons.
Yes. But the Knolls just kind of appeared one day, right?
No, the Knolls have, as far as records have shown, have always been sort of around Bloody Hill. They were the last sort of force that was defeated by King Owen when King Owen. Let me see.
Okay. So I'm just trying to envision what it looked like before the Knolls became a big problem.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that like Osberg was part of Lauthrum, Valfield was part of Bosmar.
So, not necessarily. So, Avency fell in 585,
okay.
and the Knolls who... So, the last, like, big battle that King Owen did to sort of unite Avency and free it from monsters and threats, per the legends, was to... King Owen himself slew the Knolls goddess at the Battle of Bloody Hill. So Knolls have kind of been a scattered threat throughout this area ever since that happened. He broke them, but, didn't exterminate them. They've always just been. But then when Avency fell, the Knolls overran the Knollands. And Bosmar and the other kingdoms were partially formed because they were the military people who could have the forces to protect everybody from Knolls. And they carved out their kingdoms from there. Bosmar had a bit more territory, like Valfield was part of... No. They had a bit more territory, but Valfield is, as far as records that you could have probably researched when you were in the city, it'd be fairly easy to look up. Valfield is an old imperial city that was never part of Bosmar. It fell way before that.
So it was overrun in the immediate chaos after the fall of the Empire. Okay.
Yep.
And I assume no, because Osberg we know was part of Lauthrum. And then what about Karengir?
Karengir is actually a dwarven city, and that did not fall apart nearly as much as Avency, because the dwarves are not part of Aventicum. That was overrun by the Knolls afterwards, and the dwarves very much want to take it back, but they can't because the Knolls are everywhere. So, and I'm giving all this because you could have easily
Right.
I'm assuming talks would have happened before this and stuff, and you would literally have people working in a library who could tell you all this shit. Uh, the dwarves of Farron have made this fort here to try and keep an eye on Karen Gear. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to get everything into my head. Yeah, because I imagine if Lauthrum and Basmar united, they're gonna want to like basically repeat King Owen's deal and try and.
oh, most certainly, that is kind of the entire like main crux of Bosmaran noble culture at this moment is making sure that Bosmar has the mantle of being the heir to the empire, so to speak,
Yeah,
and that would
it's
definitely
the
be one way to prove
it's
it.
the Holy Roman Empire.
It is. It is literally that is what this situation is the Holy Roman Empire. Congratulations, you have looked at the timeline and realized how I did my years of how many years since the fall.
Right.
Yeah. We're not there yet. Charlemagne hasn't been crowned. There's lots of competing rivals for it, but that's kind of the figure out who gets crowned king of the Holy Roman Empire. So
Right. Which was not holy or Roman or really an empire.
nope.
Okay. Um, and we want our gal is gonna be Empress if everything goes swimmingly.
You at first at least want her to be queen.
Sure.
She is not currently queen. She and her brother have a deal. The first one of them who can add another kingdom to Bosmar, like first,
Right.
gets to be ruler
I
because
remember this because nobody
yes,
knows which one was born first.
yep, and there's no patriarch genesy or anything like that. It's usually it's either time based or competence based, and they don't have time. They need to prove competence, and they have
Yep.
one of them's trying to take over Colmar, the other one's trying to absorb Lauthrum.
So if they married Galahadrin,
Galahadrin does not have a kingdom.
does he not?
Not
I thought he
yet.
was a prince.
He has the fairy court, but his mother is probably not going to be leaving anytime soon.
Yeah, Tatiana is pretty at the height of her power.
Yeah. Also, nobody else in this country believes any of that. So,
Yeah, it's
Not
kind of
yet.
like my kingdom that lives in Canada.
yeah, basically.
You wouldn't know her.
And the one weird Canadian that came over, cut two guards' heads off, and pieced out.
Yeah, that wasn't great.
Yeah, they found those guards afterwards, and I think you guys are they're like, oh, there's dead guards there. Somebody tried to do this, and I assume that you guys kind of either didn't do much with it, or just like, no, it's it's definitely something happened in the background that has
I'm
worried
not
a lot of
taking
people.
responsibility for that.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Man, Felmar certainly has a theme.
They very much do.
Okay. So let's see. So I'm guessing the princess is heading to. Yeah, she said she's heading to Kiergaard, kind of this way.
Yeah.
So the idea is that we're gonna take the other two sides of the triangle.
Yep. So she's going to go first to Fort Andrum. Probably going to wait there until she gets word from you, and then Kiergaard, and try and convince the heir to the House of Esden to support her in a.
So actually,
Yeah.
we should probably head back to Andrum after we are done at Augsburg, assuming we survive.
Yeah, it'll that's something. She is leaving the logistics of the mission up to you. She is telling, hey, this is what I need. This is what I need you for. And
Yeah.
here is what I think would be best for me to do. How do you guys think is best to deliver on your end?
Yeah. Well, because that way, like, you'll have the princess will have the full picture of what's happened, and she can show up with the mace in her back pocket for her negotiations.
Or she could also arrive early and try and pave the way, and then you guys can all come and show your competence. Like it is. She has brought you guys on because you guys have displayed competence, and she will listen to what you guys think, as long as it's not batshit insane.
Has she made any promises to them already?
She has had insinuated talks that was like, "Oh, you've lost your relic. You know, what would you do if you gained it? Like that sort of thing, like coy." She has not made promises. She has not made oaths.
Okay.
Smart.
Because it wouldn't do for us to like go and try and get it, and then something happens, and we have to retreat, and then we show up empty-handed, and then we've got left her out to dry.
Yeah,
That was kind of my
this is a gambit, but she is worried that if she doesn't do this quickly, then her brother is going to conquer Kolmar, and that's why there's a bit of a rush there. But she is not desperate enough to put all of her eggs in one basket yet.
right. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if bonus objectives we could potentially do. Recovering anything of Lady Skysong's notes, probably. Like, it says she's got a research lab. I don't know if she was working on anything in particular. But that's
I will also note she's one of the few high elves that you've seen who is older than your uncle.
Well, I haven't seen her, right?
No, but I'm saying like a lot of high elves you meet are younger than your uncle. Like he's one of the oldest ones. It's like, oh,
Okay.
this one's even older. So.
Okay. Let's see. $295. Yeah, just a couple years older.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely checking out her research lab, seeing if there's anything there. How long ago did they? I'm assuming they lost Osberg a long time ago at this point, right?
Not really.
Really?
Only yeah. This has been pretty like probably the past 5 years.
Okay. Long enough that we're not holding out hope for like survivors or something.
Oh gods, no.
No.
Very. This is not a rescue mission.
Right. Well, I
But
don't.
this also isn't like this happened 20 years ago. It's like no, the guy's 18. He remembers his parents. You know, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about anything that we could bring like on top of the mace that might help, like with sentimental value or something like that. Um, we'll probably want to, yeah,
I imagine any personal effects if you're able to find them in good condition.
yeah. Who knows what the Knolls have been doing to it for the past several years? I can't imagine it's in good shape.
No, and my and I assume that you would eventually, like, because you're switching between carriages on days off and stuff, Rowan would probably also mention that his house frequently sends scouts in, and Osberg is... There's gnolls, like, infesting the Gnoll lands, obviously. There's also other monstrosities that sort of wander the place. Osberg is, unfortunately, terrible things there, that if he sends scouts in too deep, they don't come back.
Okay. Do we have a pre-ruin map?
Of the city itself?
Yeah, the city, the castle, the surrounding environment, anything like that?
They would give you one. I do not have one.
Okay. Because I don't want to like, plan out a route to sneak in, basically try and avoid as many monsters as possible.
Yeah.
On the way in.
They don't have precise enough information to know, like, oh, the monsters are clustered in, like, the downtown area or something. It's just like, no, the scouts see terrible things from a distance, and I don't hear back from half of them.
I mean, I'm just thinking things like, is there like a an old sewer outlet somewhere that we could use to like go underground and sneak away around the city that way without like walking around in the open.
I think that if you want to do an investigation check.
Yeah. Oh, it's doing it. I don't have a token on here. Hang on.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll just roll it.
I think you can find. You don't have detailed plans of Augsburg because it's not your nation or anything.
Right.
You can assume there probably was some sort of sewer system, but whether it was where it is and if it was big enough to fit people or if it's even just like still intact, you have no idea.
Right.
It might be when you get closer something to look into, but as for what you can plan with what materials you can find, you can't be sure.
Okay. Do we at least know the relative locations of the castle and the lab?
Oh, yeah, the castle was in the center of the city, and the lab was beneath the castle.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yep. I should say, there was a tower on the premise of the castle, and that was, like, where the stuff was, in the tower and then below the tower and all that. So.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we just try and sneak in as best we can. Was it a walled town?
It was. A lot of the walls were torn down in the siege.
I imagine so, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And the gnolls have not rebuilt it. One thing that Owen will note, there's gnolls patrolling the areas all around it. The gnolls have not occupied the city itself. Whatever is in there now is worse than gnolls.
Great. You love to
Cool.
hear it.
I'm sure that you and Alina are more than sufficient for fighting your way through it. For what I heard, you fought off force of hobgoblins in the Wrathways. Surely it can't be worse than that.
Surely.
Only almost killed most of us.
Oh.
I'm gonna... yeah, no problem. We'll just go in. At least it means that we don't have to worry about gnolls while we're in the city, right?
No, outside of it and around it and such.
Right.
What? Knowles? Are you talking about Knowles down there?
Yes, we're talking about
Yes.
gnolls.
Can you fight some?
Probably.
Oh, good.
And it will probably be, so it's like the carriage ride. This is 8 days. It's probably going to be, because you can't take a carriage into the Knowlands, because you don't really want to stick to the roads and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be probably 8 days to get there for walking. So
Okay, and then another 8 days out, probably.
most likely.
Yeah.
That's about roughly, yeah. I was going to say it's roughly that.
Okay.
Let's see. Trying to think if Rowan would ask you guys any questions besides just being polite and making conversation.
I'll stick my head down sometimes to help make polite conversation.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he got most of it with Abel out during the dinner. Not sure if he's talked with Galahadrin much, but Galahadrin's also kind of on the roof, which makes that weird. Yeah. Probably on the days where Phelan and Alina are in the carriage, Rowan would probably ask Phelan about himself. Yeah, so hear that you're quite an accomplished wizard and self-taught as well.
I am certainly self-taught. I've never been assessed by a wizard. Truth told, I don't know what my power comes from.
Oh, I'm afraid I don't have much experience with that. Uh, not, I am not nearly my sister. My sister's a very talented spellblade. I am barely even a talented blade.
Don't sell yourself short. You're a pretty good blade.
Pretty good is not necessarily good enough. Not for my mother, you know that.
Well, your mother has some crazy standards sometimes.
Oh, yes. Yes, she does. So, Phelan, how are you liking Bosmar?
I like it well enough. It's certainly the biggest civilization I'm used to, but it's interesting to dip my toe in something bigger, I suppose. There's a lot constantly going on.
Oh, that is certainly true. It's interesting times we live in. Quite interesting. Let's see. So, Alina, do you have is there anything that you think I could assist you and your warband with on this mission? Besides just give you a ride, obviously.
Well, someone needs to stay with the princess.
Oh yes, we will certainly be providing the princess with an escort to Fort Andrim that is in our family's holdings as well, so she will be well protected on her travels.
You said that you send scouts towards Augsburg. If we could get like with the reports on like the routes that they take and how the best way to avoid the gnolls in the area, all that sort of thing.
Oh, of course.
Just give us the best chance to actually reach our target without running into too much trouble.
Yeah, I'll see what we can provide. I do know that a lot of their notes are very patrol specific. We don't go that deep very often, and usually it's just, keeping aware of where the largest packs are and avoiding them.
Mm-hmm. Thinking of it, an experienced guide might actually be useful if you have someone who's made the journey before and knows how to do it. They wouldn't obviously have to go into the ruins themselves, they could wait outside, but that could be helpful.
Go ahead. That would need to be my mother's call. But I will certainly ask her on your behalf.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Side note, are we stopping by, did I miss that? Are we stopping by his house?
Yeah, that's what Falnoor is.
Yes, that's what I thought. Well, I would be glad to take dinner with her and see her again.
I'm sure she'll be happy to see you.
Well, I'm sure I will get an earful for choosing the royal house.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I sort of narrow my eyes at him, friendly, but like sort of tilt my head.
Yeah, I don't think that she could be disappointed in you, Alina, to be quite honest.
She sort of blushes a little and looks down. So your mother has always been kind to.
That's one word for it, sure. And I think on that note, we can probably have you guys arrive at Falnoor.
Yeah. I do love just the thought of arriving at Falnoor and having just Galahad being windswept, a little sunburned. Like, he doesn't burn because he's, from the summer court, but like a little.
Oh, he doesn't burn. Galhadron glows. Galhadron is like friggin' those stars that you'd put on your ceiling.
Right.
He's charged up. He's ready to go.
Yep.
It's very relaxed.
But yeah, so you guys arrive at Falnoor, which is very much a castle city. It is a defensive point. It's a center of some sort of trade because there's farmlands around it that you got to gather the grain and all that stuff for. But it is not a mercantile hub. It is not nowhere near as big as any of the cities that you've been in, but definitely larger than like Pontem or Goldcliff or whatnot. The roads are all well watched, well protected. You guys are passed through the multiple layers of walled defenses because you are the Alenthe carriages in the lead. And as you pull into the courtyard, there are some figures waiting for you. One is a very well-dressed half-elf man with dark skin, very styled hair. You would know this to be the Marquis Albus Elenthe, Rowan's father. And then next to him is a much older-looking human woman with wrinkles and scars covering her face and peeking out from on her skin beneath very well-worn, largely practical armor, with the only sort of ornamentations being the shoulder pads sort of shaped like a bear's head.
Take.
You would know this to be the Lady Ursula Elenthe, the Bear of Falnoor. And these are the parents of Rowan. And Rowan would let you know that his sister is currently away studying at the Azure Academy.
Well, it is unfortunate that I missed her. I do enjoy her company.
You've only met her a few times. She spends the majority of her time studying there.
I mean,
You have
doesn't
met her
mean I don't enjoy her company.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So as you all get out of the carriage, the Marquis is like, Your Highness, welcome to Falnoor. It is so great to see you. Sort of steps forward and bows, kisses her hand and all that stuff. The princess is like, Marquis Elenthe, thank you very much for your son's escort and your gracious hospitality. He goes down the line and sort of is like, these must be Alina and your new warband, I presume. I have heard that you have accepted the position of a royal knight. Congratulations.
My thing. And she'll back.
He'll sort of give you a slight bow as well and sort of go down, introducing himself very politely to everybody. And it's like, hello, I am Marquis Albus Elenthe. I am the Lord of this lands, Owen's father. Hello.
Hello.
As all these introductions are going on, the Lady Elenthe is just kind of standing there stoically, sort of watching everybody. Sort of looks at Alina, is like, I believe you guys would have gotten here around noon on, let's see. How can I progress this? And midday. There we go. Alright, calendar is set. Looks over and said, Rowan, any issues with the travel? And he'll just sort of, nope. No knolls, no incursions or anything. Safe, quick trip. Good. Looks around and is like, it's a bit past noon. I will not be having you traveling into the Knowlands when half the day is already gone. You'll be staying the night, and you can leave in the morning. Good. And the princess will just kind of, I will be leaving for the Fort Andrin in the morning as well, but yes, I was hoping that they could leave a bit sooner as traveling through Vinola, and she sort of stops. It's like, nope, they're not leaving until tomorrow morning. It's far too late in the day to begin an excursion like this. They need their rest from the travels, and then they can head out. Alina, good to see you.
You as well. It's always a pleasure.
These
Your hospitality is unmatched, as always. And I smile at her.
these your men?
Correct.
Any good?
Galahadron does
The best.
Training grounds.
Yes, ma'am.
And just marches you guys into the training grounds. Rowan is kind of just behind you, just like, well, I knew this was going to happen. All right, and let us, because you guys will be doing rolls, slap you all on here. The training grounds are a sort of large open air courtyard in the middle of the castle with kind of a more sandy covering on the ground. There are some soldiers who are training with sort of blunted weapons here and there, sort of targeting dummies and such, that all sort of stop as Lady Elenthe leads you in there. She looks around at the group. All right, who's first?
Galahadron, would you like to go first?
Yeah. I still have my blunt sword somewhere. Yep.
Use a sword?
Yeah.
Sword and shield?
Yeah.
That's a relic. Get one of the other ones.
No, I'm using the blunted sword.
You
Oh,
use
you
a
mean the
blunted
shield.
sword?
The shield.
Oh.
Galahadron. She's speaking of the shield.
You use a blunted sword in combat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, mostly.
What about that one on your hip that looks like a relic? Is that one blunted as well? Never heard of a blunt relic?
No, I've not used it yet, though.
My lady, that one is not a blade, as a typical blade stands.
Get a training one anyways.
All right.
She points you over towards a rack where there's like, wooden swords and shields and stuff there.
All right, I pick up some of those.
All right, square up.
I've squared up.
All right.
I'm ready for combat.
Give me an athletics check.
All right, I cannot fail. Let me close all these windows of these people. Hold on. Yes. Athletics.
You are able to. She sort of starts putting you through your paces. You're able to hold your own for a decent amount of time until she pulls what you would probably consider a very dirty trick. Gets inside your guard, drops her own sword, grabs your sword arm with one hand, grabs your collar with the other, and just flips you over her head.
Oh, at least you didn't bite me. I had a goblin do that once.
Not bad. Might actually
Good
last
match.
today in Augsburg.
Oh.
What's your name?
I am Galahadron. I'm the Green Knight. You can tell because I'm green.
I can. Quite a lot of it. Next.
Abel?
Alright, let's do this. I'm gonna pick up a training tiger.
Abel Whitewater, I believe.
That's correct, ma'am.
I've heard things about you.
I'm sure you have.
Score up. Athletics check.
Can I do acrobatics?
If you would like to, that would certainly be a choice.
Or deception.
Lie! This is my lie dance.
Faint. This is how I faint.
I will say athletics check or your own choice of a skill at disadvantage.
Oh boy. We're definitely doing disadvantage deception then. Oh no. She sliced right through me.
You try to pull some funny shit, she grabs you by your neck and just pins you to the ground. It is over in like a heartbeat. She sort of looks over at Alina. It's like, you're bringing him into Osberg.
He has other skills, lady.
What are those other skills?
He's a great inspiration. You'd be surprised.
All according
I
to
would
his
be.
plan.
He's the white man. He's the DEI
I mean,
hire.
I could give her. I could give her an inspiring speech with inspiring leader.
Oh, no, good. Go ahead, try.
Well,
She cuts off your windpipe.
ow. Ah.
What was that? Can't hear you.
My lady, please.
I'm very inspired. Let's go. All right, go. Rest up. Rest up with the green one. She
I'm
looks at
going
you,
to-
Alina. It's like, didn't you used to spa with him at the academy?
I did.
Next.
I'm going to, I don't know if I can pull this off, but I've sparred with this lady before. And the best defense is a good offense. So I'm going to look at Phelan. And I'm going to say, Phelan, I'm going to wait for him to take 2 steps, and then I'm going to charge her
Okay.
with my glaive.
With your real glaive?
No.
Okay. All right, so Phelan, go ahead and make an athletics check. And then, Alina, what are you trying to make? An athletics?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Strength
Do
is not
I
my strong
get-
suit.
That's fair. Do I get advantage for just sort of the surprise?
The DC is different.
Kenny.
So Phelan, as you sort of start, she would sort of look at you, it's like, what's your preferred weapon?
My preferred weapon?
Yeah.
I make what I need.
Really now?
I will make a sword.
I guess that's one step above other wizards. How well can you use it?
I traditionally don't use a sword, but well enough.
Alright. And she comes at you with her own training sword, manages to trip you right as Alina gets to her. Alina, you're able to get a one hit in on her, just on her side, make her stumble a bit, and she's going to look over at you and grin. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
say I've learned.
Indeed you have. Go ahead and make a dexterity or strength save, your choice. Yeah, she sort of goes to trip you and parry you up, and you're able to keep your paces with her. And everybody else watches as you guys sort of spar on equal terms for a decent amount of time, just a couple of minutes.
I'm gonna dance and inspire Eilina to push her over the edge.
Go ahead and make a check.
I mean,
What kind of check? Persuasion? What do you performance?
I could do performance, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
since I'm performing. Yeah, there we go.
All right. And yeah, I think that Alina, at the end of it, you are going to be able to sort of best her, so knock the sword out of her hand, and just hold your training blade to her throat. She's just going to grin up at you. It's like, congratulations, you've beaten an old woman.
I am going to step into her, and I'm going to give
I didn't get the last word.
her a hug.
She'll return that, and it's like, it's good to see you. Good to see you too.
You as well. Do you want to fight our Marrow as well?
Sure.
Marrow,
Okay. We're
don't
gonna bring
hurt
out
her.
all the dogs.
Mm.
She looks like a Knoll. She's not Knoll.
Oh, I know how to deal with her kind. Go ahead and make your athletics check, Meryl. All three of the dogs leap at her, and it looks like she has experience dealing specifically with creatures like Marrow.
With three dogs leaping at her at once.
Three Knolls
yes.
leaping at her
Three.
once.
She sees that the other two dogs like form out of smoke and like jump out of Marrow's shadow. She uses a real sword and just dissipates both of them, and then puts Marrow in a headlock.
She takes damage from that, right? Because I got.
Oh yeah,
a
she
knife.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is bleeding as she does that. But sort of stops and is like, Marrow, how? Feel like a job?
She's already
Depends.
sworn to me.
That's a shame. Would love to have you spar with some of my troops. Might give them good experience in fighting gnolls and such. You're a lot more intimidating than the sort of pack animals that they run with. Good. I like this one the best.
I'm wounded.
Marrow.
He is too, don't worry.
Yeah, so it leads everybody off to sort of clean up afterwards. Pulls Alina towards the side and is like, Alina, help me with some of these cuts here. I think Marrow's coat was a lot sharper than I expected.
Absolutely.
Gives you some needle and thread.
I'm just going to reach out and I'm going to healing hand.
Well, that's...
I've changed a lot since you've last seen me.
Did you have? So that you decided to take the princess up on her offer?
I did. It wasn't without great weight or thought. There is something I have to do. And serving her will help me get.
I see. I have reached out to some of my own contacts. I do believe that your brother is in the Iron Wolves. Haven't been able to determine exactly which one he's joined. From what I've been able to tell, he got married, which makes finding his name in the rosters a bit hard.
He got married.
Apparently. Not sure to who, though. My contacts wouldn't necessarily say. The Iron Wolves are a bit, their leaders are public knowledge, but they keep the other members of their warband a bit more secretive.
Yeah, safer that way.
If I find out anything else, I'll let you know.
Thank you. There's something I did want to discuss with you.
Please.
We'll get your opinion on. Alright. You are one of the only people I respect. And she smiles.
Out with it, girl.
And I'm gonna pop out the wings.
Oh.
So I look at you, it's like... Must say, didn't know you were too good for my boy. Didn't think it was by that much.
Now. Rowan is incredible.
He doesn't have
You have
wings.
wings.
I do have wings.
What are
and
what are they about? I'm not necessarily a devout or magically inclined person. But I assume some sort of blessing from the Trinity?
But no. Well, probably. But it was about a year ago. started getting headaches, started remembering things I don't think I should have remembered, or I honestly thought I was having a full mental breakdown. Thought I was completely losing it. And then I had wings.
Get out of there, Pete.
And then I could do things that I couldn't do before. And the memories, we'll call them, haven't stopped. They've gotten clearer and more disconcerting.
Have you talked with any of the clergy about that?
I've talked with all 3 of the archbishops. One of them believes that I'm something. One of them believes that I am reincarnated. One of them doesn't know what to believe, and the third one thinks I'm just blessed, if I remember.
Which one is which?
I've already forgotten their names.
Good girl. Once you get to become an archbishop, you're much more of a politician than a clergyman.
Yes. But it's the visions that get me. They're so clear, like my own memory. I know things that I shouldn't know. I remember things I shouldn't remember. Gods, I'm only 24. And I remember things that a 24-year-old should not remember. Not in this, anyways.
Afraid I'm not much help for you for any of that. It's beyond me. I'm a soldier. Is that why the princess offered you the position?
She offered it to me before. But I think this now has doubled down her belief in having me on her team.
Well, I was going to congratulate you for your new station, but it sounds like there's things afoot where that's less of the priority for you.
I appreciate the congratulations. And I just wanted you to know things are changing and the world is getting more dangerous. And this house is very dear to me.
Rat.
A different kind of dangerous, old woman.
Wish things were simpler, but if they were, then the Trinity wouldn't need us.
Agreed. Now, the most important question. What is for lunch?
Let's go see. Gonna give my son a earful for... I was going to give my son an earful for not winning you over to our house, but it seems like that was never going to be in the cards.
You know I've never been won over by a pretty face.
Unfortunately, that's all the boy has going for him.
That is not true, and you know it. Look at his grades. They were excellent.
He's got excellent hearing. He can hear when you're yelling. I'm not here right now. Sorry.
You've got a great kid. He'll be a great Marquis someday.
If he lasts that long, see.
That's the thing about Broden. He's persistent. I'm sure he'll stay.
I have to wonder why, if you have such a higher accounting of my son than his own mother, why you didn't latch on to him a bit more strongly.
You can think highly of someone and not favor them in that. Duty has
Shame.
always come before my heart in a lot of.
Aye, no, I can understand duty.
Plus, I'm good with the sword, but I have nothing else. She sort of
You have
smiles.
fucking wings.
I do have fucking wings.
Daft girl. Ah, boy. So what do you think of the princess's scheme? Sending you into Osberg after a lost relic to convince a whelp who can't even get his own family's title.
That part I don't know if I agree with, but I think it'll be exciting. I have taken a newfound interest in relics. And
So you've had green ones decked out in them. And apparently doesn't use one of them.
so, and this is a secret between you and I. We have more. But that's all I can say.
And he uses a blunt sword?
We're working on that. He has this very, he is a defender of life, and that is incredibly honorable. Not always practical. He's a good man. And I respect him. Well, good thing for him, he's like a bajillion years old.
I think that, I don't even know how to respond to that. You are far beyond whatever I'm dealing with here.
No, but I think going to the ruins will do. I think it will tell us something that we didn't know before. And I think that's important. There's a lot more players on the board now. I wish it was just Knowles, and I wish it was just...
Oh, my dear girl. They've gotten you into politics. I am so, so sorry.
It's more than politics, my lady. It's the end of the world.
The world's always been ending.
Well, that's true.
Just one favor, if you would. Don't die. I don't think I could deal with Rowan sobbing.
I will try not to die. Though, if what I'm given from my memories, I won't stay dead.
Slaps you on the back and is like, right. Gods, you've gone crazy. Oh, well.
Well, my lady, I take after you. And I wink at her.
Let's hope not.
As soon as we pass, I'm assuming we're gonna find Rowan next, because that mini is kind of a hoverer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my arm over his shoulder, and I'm like, let's go eat. I'm starving. I kicked your mother's ass today, and that felt nice.
Oh.
Now I'm hungry.
Well, then we should celebrate. Yeah, he'll lead you guys to the kitchens, and you guys will have a hearty, probably ends up being an early dinner. In all things, just from a long...
I would call my team.
Oh yeah, everybody is invited to the kitchens, to the dining hall and such. A big haunch of... Big haunch is sort of brought in front of Marrow, and the chef sort of looks at him and is like, so, you want this raw, or you want me to broil it?
Half.
Do you want it raw or cooked?
Can do half and half.
You can do half and half. Cuts it in half, gives you the raw part now, and back in a few minutes with the broiled one. Yeah, it is fairly simple affair. It is, this is a defensive castle. They are not trying to embellish They probably fancy it up a little bit, Alina, just because the princess is here, but it's still fairly a Spartan sort of. Hey, here's your meat, here's your potatoes, here's the stuff you need to fight for the next day. There you go. Probably add a little bit of spices and butter to it just to make it a bit fancier. Yeah. So we look around and it's like, so, Alina, my son here says that you have requested one of my scouts follow you on your daft suicide mission.
Yes. If that wouldn't be too much trouble.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, Abel, why? Abel, please. Abel, help me.
Do you want me to try and get? I don't think she's very impressed with me.
She is not.
Chime in and
Would
it'll
you
give
like
you
to change
advantage.
that somehow? How would?
Yeah. I would sort of. I mean, it'll probably still be persuasion, but I probably wouldn't answer so glibly. I'd probably lay it out for her. I'm like, well, one of the only ways that we're going to survive, my lady, is if we have someone who knows the terrain. If we can get in quieter and get out quieter, our likelihood of surviving is much higher.
And also, they don't have to go with us into the city. And
That is true. I would not put them in danger, any more danger than wandering through the Knoll Waste would be.
Alright, you can make your persuasion with advantage.
I'm very good at rolling today.
Yeah. I'll give you one. He'll lead you to Osberg. He's not going in there.
Perfect. I wouldn't ask him to go in there anyways.
Alright. I'll have him draw straws. I'll have him ready for you in the morning, whatever poor sucker is going with you.
Poor sucker, they get to spend more time in my company? Who could be that poor?
Oh, in that case, I
smile
should
at
send
her.
Rowan with you.
I was about to say, we know one person who wouldn't even need to draw a straw.
Rowan sort of looks around and just like clearly torn.
I just raised one eyebrow.
I would be more than happy to, but I'm not sure how much use I would be as a scout. I haven't been to Osberg before, and she's like, no, I'm not sending my son to get himself killed. Pipe down. Well, all right. But yeah, we will have a scout follow you tomorrow morning.
My thing.
Good. Were there any other sort of points of conversation you guys would like to bring up while you're here?
Nope.
No, I think Alina is really just going to enjoy this one moment of normalcy. Like this is something she's used to.
I'm telling funny stories about the Feywild. Great anecdotes.
I think that as you guys enter the kitchen, the Marquis and the Princess were already there, just kind of enjoying a meal. He was sort of whining and dining her as much as he could with his stores. So you'd probably find a place next to him, and he'd be interested in your stories. Be like, oh, that's so fascinating. Where do you? I must say, I'm not as knowledgeable of Wood Elf culture as I should be, but these are quite wonderful stories. Are there any books that I can read about more of these?
Yeah, there's a library, but I don't know how to get to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been lost during the fall. I'm sorry for bringing that up.
Oh no, it's yeah, there are bird librarians and they pick up the books and there's a big goose. It's kind of in the woods.
Oh.
You kind of have to go like 3 times around an oak tree and halfway to the north wind. It's hard to find.
You're quite a riot.
Thank you.
Yeah. He's more amused than anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been my time talking with the lady of the house, telling her, regaling her with our own combats from the past since I last saw her.
So he hasn't actually killed anyone. He just hits them with a blunt sword.
He does. No, he's killed one person
Oh?
on accident.
Ugh.
I picked up a new move. I can now sort of fly through enemies and deal damage, and injure them as I'm passing them. Very
And he didn't even... Yeah, pretty sure saw a whisper of that in the training fields today. It's good. Yeah. Let's see. What else? I don't know, Abel, were any attempts to salvage your
Yeah,
impression?
I would actually, yeah. Like,
With
I-
the lady or with the Marquis?
with the lady, obviously. The
Alright.
Marquis is like, I mean, I feel like he's
Very
not the one to
polite and
impress.
affable, yeah.
He's not the one to impress here. But I guess, well, I would join in with Eileen with telling the stories and offering, because, like, Abel is generally, like, the person who's, like, telling people, to move, and, like, he is a warlord, technically.
Yeah.
So, like,
Okay.
giving, like, the tactical perspective of, like, what he was trying to achieve when he was moving people around and directing their attacks and that kind of
And
thing.
Ilena would hype that up.
Go ahead and make a persuasion, and Alina's going to give you advantage. So you're more of a tactician then.
Yeah.
That's good. One tactician, one wizard, one accomplished knight, one very fierce hound, and one person who's playing at being a knight. That's pretty roundabout. Pretty all-rounded.
I'm not a wizard.
I am a knight.
Sort of looks at you again and is like, when you start using
My
a
lady.
sharp sword, then we can discuss that.
Knights are defined by, well, it's not what they do, it's what they are. They're defined by their I'm pure of heart.
Hmm?
Good deeds. Knightly deeds.
Oh, an idealist. Oh, well. But you're not a wizard. You can conjure weapons from thin air, but you're not a wizard.
That is correct.
You
I
a
have been
cleric?
tested by wizards. They have told me I am not one of them.
Okay, is this a blessing from the Trinity? Are you a cleric then? As
Don't
Falnoor
believe I'm a cleric,
Brent-
though it does feel a blessing. I
If my
echo
daughter
your
were
baffle.
here, she could explain the difference to me between a wizard and a not wizard who can do magic. It's a bit beyond my ken.
It's a bit outside of mine as well. Though the distinction was very important to the wizards.
Yeah, but the two of you are from the Garen Woods. How did you come across Lena's employ?
I came across Alina. In my travels, I crossed her path. I continued to help her, and we became friends.
He is one of my most trusted.
That's good. I also hear that he's a decent artillery, too.
I have been known to cause damage.
I hear that you blasted the hell out of that Barcroft boys' warband.
it seemed the quickest way to get through that trial.
Be honest with you, Alina, that's a wizard. I don't know the particularities or peculiarities or whatever the hell else is. If you can throw a ball of fire at a group of enemies, you're a wizard. Never heard of a priest doing that.
I mean, technically speaking, with enough ingenuity, we could also throw balls of people, and I'm not a wizard.
Oh, yeah, but with like a cannon or a catapult, not with your fingers.
True. I'm assuming that I'm much closer to her than I am the Marquis.
The Marquis is actually very, you're probably closer to her, yes, just because your personalities are a better match, but the Marquis is still like a very... He's the charm, so to speak. He is the people pleaser,
most
the
people.
politician. Yeah, like you're still decently close with him. They both like you. But you and Ursula both sort of bond over being, fighters and stuff. Rowan takes after his dad a bit more. So
a shit ton of strength.
yeah.
I forgot I had a 20 strength. Damn.
Oh yeah.
I would lean down in a quiet moment after he and the princess conversation lulls a little bit, and I'd be like, Marquis, it is lovely to see you. I didn't get to say so earlier, but your wife dragged me to the sparring ring.
Don't worry, I can't win a fight against her either, so at least you're one up on me in that regard.
I can't believe I've won today. I take that as probably my second biggest accomplishment.
I'm happy for you, and I hope that it puts her in a good mood and not a foul mood. But
we both look at her.
Make an insight check.
But I'm not good at that.
She is such a stoic woman, you cannot tell. She is drilling Abel on, like, combat formations and stuff, and she just like, what do you do this? What do you do with this? All right, well, now what if this happens? And just... Abel's putting up a good show of going back, but she is just like, all right, you're not useful with a sword or a dagger. What are you good for? Okay, you're fine. She's being very... Galhadron, she is just overbearing bitch.
No, those aren't my thoughts.
Okay.
Those aren't my thoughts.
You don't get a good read on her, so...
I keep trying to interject myself in the tactics conversation, and I say, but what if there's somebody, the knights are pure of heart? What if they're pure of heart?
Well,
I'm going to leave. Go ahead.
If they're pure of heart, then hopefully they don't bleed as much. Now, anyways, Abel, now if they flank here from this... Yeah, just brush his
I'm going to
god.
lean into the Marquis and be like, tell.
I think I'm leaning towards she's happier than usual, with you at least. If I were to take a guess, I would say that she is just being very high standards about the warband that you've brought with you.
Yes,
Not
very much.
sure if all of them necessarily measure up to her standards, but you know how hard that is.
I do think that Abel would enjoy the challenge of like discussing tactics with her.
All right.
Like this is his battlefield.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're probably leaning into it, but she is like she knows her shit. She has been leading the defensive forces of like probably the second most military active force. Even besides, like, the war in Colmar has been going on for a few years. She has been defending the northern border for, like, decades. She was originally just a commoner who earned a knighthood by just being a badass, and when the heir of the Marquis was looking for somebody who could help defend his lands, knowing that he himself was not really a fighter or a tactician, caught her eye, and there you go. That's kind of how that all went through. And Alina would know this for sure, and Alina probably would have prepped you about this beforehand. So she is a salt of the earth, a very weathered and war-torn older white woman who married a man who was not only a noble, not only a half-elf, but also does not age nearly as much as she has. So, yeah. Let's see. But yeah, the Marquis will, like, in sort of your little huddle there, Alina would be like, so this has been bugging me, though. What did Rowan do wrong?
Well, my lord, he did nothing wrong. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna say it's not him, it's me thing, but it is. It's not him, it's me. Duty called me out. Unfortunately.
Well, if there's not really much for it now, could be worse. I had heard some rumors that you were going to be spending a lot of time with House Rightwater, and I was afraid you were going to be joining the Spears for a short time there.
You should know me better by that than that by now.
Apologies for doubting you on that. It was a very, very peculiar rumor, but with how things have gone down there, that's probably for the best. How is young Abel? I've heard that terrible things happened to his family, and he stood up to his uncle to be where he is now.
He did. It was incredible. A lot of people give him a lot of grief for not being a fighter, for not being, the strong arm of the Whitewater family. He is a lot stronger than a lot of people give him credit. It's his mind, mostly. That's where he's the strongest.
Well, it looks like Ursula's warming up to him a bit now, but you probably should have led that he had a backbone at least before the sparring, gotten off to a better foot.
I should have, but
Oh well.
she would prefer, as we both know, she would prefer to test people on their merit in the moment. I laugh.
Yeah, in what I have learned, Alina, is that we can't all be warriors and we can't all be politicians. That's why we marry the other. So it gives you a grin and slaps you on the shoulder a bit.
I smile. I'm like, well, apparently I'm turning into both. That is the fear of your wife.
Oh, heaven forbid.
I know, I'm mired in politics. What do? I'm up to my eyeballs in it.
Well, if that ever becomes too overwhelming with you, let me know. Just because you're a royal knight now doesn't mean you can't fulfill your oath for the time being and take up a more permanent residence.
I grin at him, and I'm like, smooth brain bulging slide right off. I will remember that. There's something out there calling me, and I'm very excited to seize it.
Well, you can't blame a father for trying.
It is, and has always been my honor that you think so highly of me.
Oh, you've earned it. Don't think you haven't.
But Phelan, here, and she pulls Phelan in.
Oh, yes, no, the wizard.
Yes, I think you'll find him most interesting.
Oh no, I love your hat.
Thank you. I bought it as a treat to myself for having very little in this world.
That's good priorities on you, boy. See if you got some of Whitewater's fashion sense, but a bit of your own spin on it. I admire that.
He would be flattered to hear you say it was his fashion sense.
I'm not in the capital nearly as much as I wish I could be for that sort of thing, but, styles. As you get older, the styles seem to whiz by faster than the seasons.
Ah, but my lord, you are always in style.
Thank you, my dear.
Kiss ass.
Wealth and power does that.
Listen. I've been at their house a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah. He was Orlina, and it's like, what about the other elf there, that sort of pretty one? How did Ursa like him?
He held up well.
Hmm.
She is very upset at the fact that he doesn't kill people,
Oh,
and he uses a blunt sword for everything.
I'm not aware of that euphemism.
No, like a literal blunt sword.
Oh, why?
He's pure of heart.
It's a thing.
If you say so, I was going to see if you think he'd be interested in meeting Cassandra, but it sounds like that might not be the best of ideas.
He's also already spoken for, my lord.
Ah, of course.
And I make a not so sly, but a gesture towards Abel.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, I was going to say he might be a bit prettier than Rowan, but all right. Nope, that makes me feel a little bit better.
No, I have no romantic entanglements. Currently.
Now that makes me feel worse.
I'm too busy.
You're always too busy.
Listen, I have earned my way up here. Maybe someday I'll get to.
Well, don't wait too long. There are other women who are interested in Rowan. Unfortunately, Ursula is interested in none of them, so you've got some time, but you don't have forever.
I appreciate it. But I would hope, that even if he does marry, I would still have a place at your table for whatever this world's equivalent of Thanksgiving is.
Oh, of course.
And I could scope out, make sure that his potential future
That would
partners are worth
that
it.
would funnily enough be Rithmus's day, which just passed. So
Or Christmas. You know, a holiday.
yeah.
She's like, that way I could then see if his future partner is worth it. And she smiles at him.
Oh, that would. Please, if nothing else, spare that whoever that poor woman ends up being, and just marry him. I don't think any bride alive would survive the both you and my wife.
I'm not that bad.
So raises an eyebrow at you.
I said that bad.
If you insist.
I do. I will say, because she trusts these people.
Mhm.
She would lean. She would also, in the lower tones, explain to him. And she's like, besides, maybe I shouldn't show up. I do have wings.
You have wings now.
Yeah. From according to Galahadran, they're special. I don't know.
Oh. You know, I used to pride myself on knowing every little bit of gossip around the kingdom, but I have no idea what to even make of that. You have wings, he has a blunt sword, it's... I might not look it, but I'm getting old.
You don't look a day past 23, my lord.
You're still not a good liar.
Never will be.
were there any other conversations or planning that you guys wanted to do before you head into the Knoll Lands tomorrow?
I play an elaborate drinking game. At
Okay.
dinner. There you go.
What kind of elaborate drinking game?
It's called Feywild Jenga. Feywild Strip Jenga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and who are you playing it with? I feel like Marrow loses instantly.
She's dying of laughter.
The agility on my tail, though.
Yeah, but look at the lack of clothes.
Wait, I thought you were saying we were playing Jenga.
Strip Jenga.
I'm playing Strip Jenga. Let's go. Alina will allow herself to play.
That's
Oh,
the
freaking
presumption that Marrow will lose.
You do have one article of clothing,
Put
but you
on
also
some booties.
don't really have thumbs.
You can put
or
on some
fingers.
booties.
Oh my god.
Are you
Put
going
Marrow
to
in
dress
somebody's
Marrow up?
clothes.
Are you going to dress Marrow up so you can just have her
So
strip
Marrow
for a
can-
game?
Well, I mean, so you know, that's how you play. It's quite a game.
Everybody else playing Strip Jenga and Marrow's just playing Jenga? I mean, whatever, I guess.
The Marquis, Lady, and Princess would politely decline.
This involves a lot of strategy, actually. There's chips and cards and what else?
Jenga?
The Marquis and Lady are just, there's no persuasion check that are going to get them to play
Not
that
even
with
a-
you.
Not even a 30. If I roll right now and get a 30?
That is what the DC will be for the Princess.
Okay, let me see. Uh, do I get advantage because we've been drinking
No.
alcohol? Yeah.
Incredible.
I assume that's where this is going, but this has to be where I call it.
And I guess we'll figure out what this happens next time.
That's,
Here too, right? It's
Bob's putting his words where his mouth was.
The Princess will join you. Is this an actual game that you want me to run skill checks for, or is this a fade to black?
Fade to black?
I was
It's
My
Strip
God, what are you
Jenga.
guys
I
doing?
don't know. I don't know.
I was trying to make up the silliest Feywild party game. That was just what came to my head.
Okay.
I don't have any plans beyond those
So
words.
you guys are
Except for when I
drinking
got the
and playing
Riviera.
a stripping game.
Strip Jenga. It involves a lot of strategy and dexterity, and I
Okay.
see like little shots of alcohol, like somewhere in the tower. I mean, imagine a really elaborate game, like
I will
a
give
trip
you
there.
to think on
What
this.
Hold on, Axis and Allies, but
You're
it's
playing Risk.
a drinking game. Yeah,
I love the
those
thought of
cards.
Jenga Risk, but with stripping.
It's involved. There's a lot of pieces.
It does sound like both of those statements are true. You have a week to think on it. We'll
What?
pick back up.
I'm not gonna do any good, solid game design. Any game I make is miserable. Except it has to live in the realm of imagination. If I come up with rules, it won't make sense.
What is the result of this game getting incredibly rowdy and intoxicated?
Naked people. Sorry. Depends on how good you are at the game.
Okay.
How do we determine that?
Okay. So what check is everybody rolling?
Let me look
Athletic.
at.
I would prefer athletics.
Let me think about it. I'm gonna try to be neutral here. We look at them. Sleight of hand. This is Jenga.
I don't want to roll this, guys.
Roll.
it's a good thing that Abel is very gay, otherwise this will get really weird really quick.
I'm trying to think of what the princess's sleight of hand would be. Didn't think I needed to stat her out for that sort of thing.
Well, what is Rowan's?
Rowan's is a +2. I think she'd be a bit better than Rowan on it. There we go.
You also got to roll
Princess is
Rowan's.
pretty good.
Princess is pretty good. Not as good as Abel. And then
Add 3 victory points.
This reminds me of some of the games I played back at the academy.
and then Rowan.
Yeah,
Not
what's up?
All right, so Rowan and Alina definitely lose. What does... All right, so Abel and the princess end up being... Abel, the princess, and Marrow end up getting... No, because that's a crit. So Abel wins. What does Abel winning and Alina losing look like at the end of the night? Galahadra, this is your game.
I mean, you gotta yes and me. I don't look. I'm laying the railroad tracks as I'm driving the train. I
You
don't know.
cannot ask the ace person who didn't socialize in high school what the outcome of a strip game is.
I don't. I never.
I have
really-
nothing to pull from.
It's in the land of imagination.
You were
for
homeschooled?
me.
No, worse, public school. But I didn't like anyone.
I mean, all right. If you want my real assessment of what I think happens, all right. So, typically when you lose, there's some like, right? It's rowdy and fun, but then like everyone kind of has the grace to not like, make a big deal out of it, and so whoever loses gets to like flee. You know what I mean? And then come back and then chat, but with clothes on. You know what I mean? I think that's what happens. I'm guessing here. I mean, you can just yes and me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what
yeah.
happens in strip
So,
Jenga.
I think Alina would lose gracefully. She'd be rowdy about it, but she would lose. Like that's what the dice.
That's what the Jenga says.
Would Alina have been drinking while doing this?
You have to.
She'd drink a little. They got a big thing tomorrow.
So would that be a no? Not drinking a lot, even though you're
She's
losing?
not drinking a lot.
She's not drinking a lot. Okay.
But she also has been a soldier basically her whole life. Being naked in front of people is not scary. So I think she'd just slip into her clothes.
It's scarier when there's like little quicklings around with knives.
What was that?
Well, also, you have to
that
remember you
was
are playing with your
Rowan's
boss.
Constitution save. Rowan will... Alright, so is Alina stripping down completely?
I don't know.
Or no?
It's Alina's choice. Oh,
I mean, if she lost, she would do so.
And Rowan would be following her and just sitting there embarrassed as hell, intoxicated, because he's not going on a risky mission to the next morning, and he needed a lot of drinks in order to do this in front of Alina and the princess.
We'll give him a loser snuggie. The snuggie you get when you lose at strip Jenga. There you go.
The fuck is a snuggie?
You don't know what a snuggie is?
What?
No.
Read a book. It's a blanket with sleeves.
Oh, I thought you meant fourth wing. Okay.
What?
Oh, a snuggie.
What?
What?
You can't be doing this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either. All right, he gets a loser snuggie. He doesn't know where you got it. I don't know how snuggies exist in this world.
Somebody invents it.
Snuggie is a universal constant. It exists in every single.
It is
plane of
objectively not. It
It
is very
is.
much a modern peculiarity,
No,
originally developed along with wheelchairs.
no. That's not true. They're. I don't know how Terry Pratchett would say it, but the Snuggie, very critical. Everyone's got one. Doesn't matter what universe you pop into. Hell has a Snuggie somewhere. It's not a good one there, though, I guess.
It's made of spiders.
Yeah, the Snuggie in Hell's made of spiders. But they do have one. Everyone does.
All right,
I
so he gets naked, loses them, and puts on a snuggie and
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
He will probably do that, pout for a bit, and then forget that he's naked underneath it, bid you all good night, and walk out of the room with his bare ass facing everyone.
Classic mistake.
Yep.
I will, after slipping on my clothes, I will fold his clothes and place them out. And not leave them in the kitchen. Weirdo.
You should
As
hide
those
them.
two,
Make it a mystery. Oh wait, I don't think Galahad would say that.
Abel, you definitely have control of this game. How far are you making Galahadrin, Marrow, and the Princess strip?
And Phelan.
Phelan has conked out long before. Phelan has excused himself from the nonsense.
Oh, you
Alright, I'm also going to excuse myself from the nonsense.
We will pick this up next session.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna stop the recording.